Hey, how's it going? Before we jump into the content, I just want to take a minute to thank you for stopping by the channel and checking out the content. If you like this content and you want to support more content like it, then make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video. You can also check out the YouTube membership program and cybertrainingpro.com, where I put practice exams and other things that I couldn't put on YouTube. Again, regardless of how you support the channel and my content, I couldn't be more appreciative. Thank you so much, and let's get into the content. Welcome back to Policy Writing 101 for GRC professionals. I'm excited to guide you through some practical exercises that will help you apply everything that you've learned so far. In this module, we'll practice hands-on writing policy, followed by a peer review and feedback session. We'll also provide you with a set of policy templates and resources to support your ongoing policy development efforts. Let's get started. Creating a policy from scratch can seem daunting, but with a structured approach, it becomes much more manageable. In this module, we're going to walk by the step-by-step process of drafting a sample policy. You have the opportunity to actually practice and refine your skills in real time. We're going to create a simple yet comprehensive acceptable use policy for an organization. This policy is going to outline acceptable and unacceptable uses of company resources, things like internet access, email, and company devices. Let's begin by talking about the key elements of the policy. The first step is to define the purpose and objectives of your policy. This sets the foundation and clearly communicates why the policy is needed and what it aims to achieve. For our acceptable use policy, the purpose might be to protect the organization's resources and ensure they're used responsibly. The objectives could include preventing unauthorized activities, protecting sensitive information, and maintaining productivity. I want you to pause the video and take a moment to draft a purpose and objective statement for our policy. Remember to keep it clear and concise. Once you're done, you can resume the video. Great job! Now that we have a clear purpose and objectives, let's move on to the next step, which is defining the scope and applicability. The scope and applicability section defines who and what the policy applies to. This helps ensure that the policy is applied consistently across the entire organization. For our policy, the scope might include all employees, contractors, and third-party users who access company resources. Applicability could cover all devices, networks, and systems that are owned or managed by the organization. Now I want you to pause the video and take a moment to draft the scope and applicability section. Be as specific as possible to avoid any ambiguity. Once you're done, you can resume the video. Well done! The next step is to define roles and responsibilities. Clearly defined roles and responsibilities are crucial for ensuring accountability. This section needs to outline who's responsible for what. For example, employees are responsible for following the policy, IT is responsible for monitoring compliance, and the managers are responsible for enforcing the policy within their teams. Take a moment to think about the key roles in your organization and draft a few responsibilities for each role. Once you've done this, let's continue with the module. Excellent. Now let's move on to the core of the policy statements. Policy statements are the rules and the guidelines that define acceptable and unacceptable behavior. These should be clear, direct, and actionable. Our acceptable use policy statements could include things like employees must use company-provided devices for work-related purposes only, and users must not share their passwords with anybody. Ensure that each statement is specific and leaves no room for misinterpretation. Now go ahead and draft a few policy statements for our acceptable use policy. Focus on clarity and precision. Well done. You've now created the core of your policy. The final step in drafting is to include compliance and enforcement details, as well as references and review procedures. The compliance and enforcement section should describe the consequences of non-compliance and how the policy will be enforced. For example, you may say that violations of this policy may result in disciplinary action up to and including termination of employment. It's important to be clear about the consequences to ensure the policy is taken seriously. Go ahead and pause this video to draft a few sentences for this section now that are specifying the consequences of non-compliance. Once you've completed this, go ahead and continue with the module. Amazing work! You've just drafted a complete acceptable use policy. Now let's move on to peer review and feedback. Reviewing policies with peers is a critical step in refining them. It provides an opportunity to catch any issues and ensure the policy is clear and comprehensive. Here's how it works. Exchange your policy draft with a peer, review their policy, and provide constructive feedback. I want you to focus on clarity, completeness, and alignment with best practices. While we can't do this live in this video, feel free to use our course comment section below to discuss ideas. You can also try this exercise with a colleague after this course. It's a valuable experience that helps improve the quality of your policies. Now that we've gone through the policy writing workshop, let's talk about some templates and resources that can support your ongoing policy development. Policy templates can save you time and ensure consistency across your organization's policies. We've given you a supplemental materials section in this course that includes a set of templates covering various domains, including information security, compliance, and IT operations. These templates include the standard sections that we've discussed, like purpose, scope, roles, and policy statements. Use them as a starting point and customize them to fit your organization's specific needs. Beyond templates, there are several tools and resources that can support your policy management efforts. Policy management software, tools like Confluence, Policy Tech, and SharePoint can help you create, distribute, and manage policy documents effectively. Learning management systems, or LMSs, are platforms to integrate policy training and track compliance. You can also use online resources, so websites like ISACA, the SANS Institute, and the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST, which offer valuable guidance, templates, and best practices for policy development. Leverage these tools to streamline your policy development and ensure that your policies remain effective and up to date. That concludes our module on practical exercises and templates. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you found this hands-on approach helpful and feel more confident in your policy writing skills. Remember to keep practicing, keep refining, and don't hesitate to reach out to your peers and mentors for feedback and guidance.